Hello and welcome back once again. We are gonna be making these videos pretty short for the remainder of the series, but breaking news in Nazuma, which we are going to rename pretty soon. Another war has been declared against us. Can you believe it? Like, really? Another nation from the Mortals Alliance has attacked. We are going to decimate their alliance. Alright? It's a one-man show. I am one guy versus this alliance. They are many. They are strong. But we will have our revenge. Starting with doing our very best to win that war, continuing with decimating every single member in their alliance one at a time, as much as we possibly can for this treacherous attack. And then he or she, who knows, has the audacity to declare war on me and then tell me to message them for peace terms. There it is, message for terms. Who do they think they are? Do they think we will surrender? The people of Nazuma, under the command of their shogun Yai Sakura? Surrender? Pay? Under what circumstance? We are going to obliterate them. Yeah? It's not even a joke. We are going to completely decimate their civilization. What's their military like? We're going to focus, prioritize aircraft, and we're going to build up our ground. We have already started building up our ground. We are going to build it up, obliterate them. We currently have more ships than them. We currently have vastly more planes. Well, not vastly, but I would say about double, maybe? Maybe? Let's actually check. What's our current situation? We have 75,000 troops, 607. Yeah, we have double there, about, well, more than double actually. Yeah, more than double. Slightly more, but still more. The aircraft, so we're still going to be prioritizing aircraft. For now, we're going to be attempting to maintain more ships than them so that we can't get blockaded, because if we get blockaded, we will be screwed. I don't know if you have noticed, but I have bought, since the last video, a ton of gasoline and munitions just in case we get blockaded again. I've also done the same with steel and aluminum, as much as I could have afforded at the time by selling the resources. As you can see, we no longer have as much coal, iron, bauxite, lead, etc. that we had before, but it's what it is. We are also not going to be repairing Sakura City for now. Reason being, if we repair it, I want it to be repaired only when I need more improvement slots, essentially. I don't want to repair it now because it's going to be destroyed again later. But as you can see, we have begun increasing some of our other cities to 1,600 infrastructure simply to get more factories. Now you might say, why don't you just drop one of your mines? I could, but I don't want to. And the reason why I don't want to is because regardless of whether I build the factories by dropping the mines or not, eventually I am still going to have to go back and build the mines again. Right? Because the ultimate aim here, since we're not in an alliance and we won't be joining an alliance to actually stay in an alliance for the foreseeable future, we want to maintain maximum military. To have maximum military, you need to have 5 barracks, 5 factories, 5 hangars, and 3 dry docks. You can't build any more of any of those buildings but that amount. We want to have it fully maxed and have all of the units we possibly can on that build. then we want to prioritize getting our coal and mine, or iron, or coal rather, and iron mines up as well. Coal is already maxed, but we want to position ourselves well with iron as well. However, and it's a big however, I might consider going commerce. Keyword being might. At City 5, commerce is good to have if you have it, but not worth the amount of money it would cost to get without raiding at least. And so I might not go for it. I might still consider just prioritizing resources. The only issue is after I max iron mines and get steel mills, meaning that I'm now creating steel at a 100%, I guess you would say, efficiency rating. I don't have to buy coal or iron to make the steel because I'm producing enough coal and iron to make the maximum amount of steel I can. After I get to that point, there really isn't much else to do with improvement slots other than build commerce, since I would already have maxed my military, Because even at that point, it's still not worth it to buy uranium mines and farms. Not at this level. We're far too small for that. This person is inviting me to their alliance. You think too high of yourself. How should I reply? Sort. Yeah. I think that's a decent reply, wouldn't you say? Now back to wars. We don't want to waste much resources right now on our raids simply because we want to ensure that for both of these wars that we're fighting against active players, this raid war down here and this war up here, we have enough resources and enough military to win them. Right now, we still have a chance. We will be winning this because this person is currently blockaded by me and they have 0 resources left. Like, I believe I can find it in notifications actually, where I gathered intelligence. You can see they have literally at that time no munitions and virtually no gas, meaning I can attack them without cause of fear, like without losing virtually anything. If I attack them with ships, I won't lose anything. If I attack them with aircraft, which I am currently doing, I won't lose anything because they can't attack my aircraft without gasoline and munitions. So as you can see here, I'm going to showcase what I mean by that. Now, actually, we don't need to target ships. We also don't need to target soldiers. Yeah, we're going to continue with aircraft. Blast them into the oblivion. We don't need to target ships simply because we have far more ships than they do and they can't build more. As you can see, we lost 0 aircraft while they lost 44. It's like hitting aircraft while they are parked in an airbase, like they can't fire back. Well, they don't even have munitions to fire back to begin with. They don't even have gasoline to turn them on, like they're completely useless at this moment in time, which is why you always want to have gasoline and munitions on your nation. If you have aircraft, tanks, or ships in your nation, all 3 utilize not just munitions, but gasoline as well. Soldiers, on the other hand, only use munitions. And you can attack without using said munitions. However, and it's a big however, every other unit will consume gasoline and munitions as long as it is available. So that is something to keep in mind. And it is why I always said at the very beginning, I believe, of this entire series, I said the resources you want to prioritize are gasoline and munitions, steel and aluminum. Aluminum and steel because you need them to build your aircraft, your tanks, your ships. Munitions and gasoline because they can determine whether you win or lose a war. This person had a good chance of winning. They did. In fact, they started out winning. If you remember, they blockaded me and I was at risk of running out of both gasoline and munitions. They have more cities than I do. They have 3 more cities than I do, meaning they could, well, let's not say theoretically, they actually could produce far more military than I could. But they didn't. And by them hesitating, I was able to use the few steel I had on me and the money I gained from raiding, along with other resources I gained from raiding and winning those wars, to build more ships than them to turn the tides. Now, here they are, sitting without any resources and completely incapable of defending themselves. Right now, the only way for them to defend themselves would be to attempt ground attacks, which would fail, or to use real money now, because they are currently blockaded by my fleet, real money to buy credits. Right here on this screen, donate, purchase credits, and trade them in for in-game cash or resources, whichever one they feel the need to. Well, they actually need the resources more, but and then build up their military. That's the only way for them to get resources right now. Well, that's not completely true. There is another way. They themselves can't do it, but there is another way. If an ally of theirs, or even this nation that has attacked me, or another nation attacks me and manages to gain an immense victory in a naval battle against my own fleet, this naval blockade here will break, even though it's not a battle that took place in this war. That's a feature in the game that allows allies to help other nations. So for example, let's say Chaos Insurgency was my ally and he or she was blockaded by Roeski. I could attack Roeski, gain an immense victory in a naval battle, and break Roeski's blockade on Chaos Insurgency. That's how that works. The same applies pretty much for every other thing. Here you can see it here as well, actually. You can see it here. Naval blockade. Defender cannot trade with other nations until they execute a naval attack against aggressor. That is a victory. Well, it doesn't specify that other nations can also initiate said attack. None of them actually specifies that. I suppose it would make it too long. So that's fair. But even with this air superiority that I have here, it can be broken, right? If others were to come in and assist, it can be broken. Well, actually, would it be broken? We'll have to test that. It's been a while since I've lost air superiority to another nation attacking, so that might not actually be the case. But definitely so with blockades, that I'm certain of. Simply because I've always been blockaded in the past, and that's always how it has worked. So unless they change that, no. But for air superiority and ground control, I'm not so certain, because theoretically speaking, if I have, for example, 100 planes and Roeski has 10, and I gain air superiority over Roeski, and then the head state attacks me and gains air superiority over me like they do now, or rather I have air superiority over them. So let's say they gained air superiority over me would it actually affect my air superiority over Royski, given I would still have more planes than Royski, you know? Because it's not the same like a naval blockade. A naval blockade can only be maintained by a navy, you know, like if the blockade is broken, or rather if you initiate a attack on said navy, regardless of whether it's you attacking or it's an ally attacking or it's a completely different person, like a random stranger attacking that navy, if they manage to break that blockade, it would break for pretty much everyone, no? It's like, for example, when America set up a blockade essentially to stop Russia from putting, or the Soviet Union at the time, from putting nuclear missiles in Cuba. If Russia, or let's not say Russia, if Cuba attacked that naval blockade and broke through, that same blockade would have also been broken in terms of the Russians, meaning the Russians themselves could pass through, not true? Isn't that how that would work? Getting ahead of myself, most likely confusing myself in the process. Anywho, regardless, the most certain way to break one, definitely, and we'll test it later just to make sure, is doing the attack yourself. So like I did in this particular war, for example, where they issued a naval attack on me, here gained an immense victory. Here you can see immense triumph, and blockaded my nation. My air force was able to break theirs down, and eventually I was also able to gain an immense triumph with my navy, and thus broke the blockade on my nation while applying one to theirs. So that's the most, I guess you would say, the guaranteed way of doing it. But if I'm not mistaken, you can also have an ally or another nation just randomly attack them and break it for you. Can't say the same about ground control or air superiority, because been a while since either of those have been applied to my nation, but we'll see. For this particular war, who has air superiority? Them or me? I do. I have air superiority. Just making sure, you know? Just making sure. Because the game does this thing where you gain air superiority here, right? But it doesn't have naval superiority, in the sense that it doesn't show up like how air superiority and ground control shows up. It shows up on the person being blockaded as simply blockade. So it was why I was looking at it and I was like, is it am I the one that has air superiority, or are they the one that has air superiority over me, the same way I am blockading this person? But no, I have air superiority, you know, just checking to make sure. We can't do anything here though, because if we were to do a ground attack right now, we would inevitably lose. Those tanks do they do count for something, and even though I have air superiority over them, which does reduce their tank's value by half, it still isn't enough of a decrease to give my own army a guaranteed chance at victory, you know? Like cutting that 2,213 in half, he or she still has more tanks than I do. Which is a problem, since we have the same amount of troops, and tanks are worth far more than troops. So that's that. We'll have to wait and see. So you want me to join an alliance called the Yakuza? We'll see. It's gonna be a brand new nation. That player is, for all intents and purposes, at least in comparison to me, overall, a brand new player. I believe this is them. Yeah, this is them. They are a brand new player. I'm assuming they are a re-roll. That's what I will assume. Because 2 days on, 7 cities, but they have spent money, clearly. And that's real life money, by the way, guys. Like, cities for a 2 day old nation to not be in an alliance, not join an alliance at all, yet reach city 7, they either spent real money or received money from another nation. Final loan payment, 8th loan payment, 7th. So they took a loan. But yeah, so they are a re-roll. Because I don't know if you have noticed, but this is from long before 2 days ago. And so that dictates that if their nation currently is like this, where it's a 2 day old nation, then that means that they are a reroll. I don't know why they did that, but is what it is, is what it is. We'll have to see what that's about, though. Who knows? Maybe they'll join my alliance. But as I said, I am actually looking to join one of the larger alliances simply to show you what the process would be like. I'm not going to be joining one right now because joining an alliance, for the most part, at least a top alliance, is restricting unless you join like ARG or Space Invaders or such that allow you to raid. Well, Space Invaders might have rules, I'm not sure, but they might have rules on who you can raid. But ARG, for example, has no rules. You raid what you want to raid, so long as you essentially do this: stay active and be willing to coordinate with each other. If you want to attack the top alliance rows, you're free to attack the top alliance rows. You will get countered most likely, but you're free to do it. And in return, if you are attacked, not as a counter, but if you are attacked in general, your fellow pirates will assist you if necessary and if asked. So that's something nice about ARG. So if you're looking for a virtually no rule alliance, you can consider joining ARG. You will need Discord though, obviously. But that's pretty much all there is to know about ARG. As you can see, all members or captains, are free to raid the nations of their choice. But we'll see. We won't be joining them. we might, just to show you the experience of joining them, but I'm planning on sticking for the most part as a free nation. Though that might also change. We'll have to wait and see. In any case, this has been this video. Like I said, I'm keeping them relatively short. And I'll be seeing you in the next one. If you have something that you'd like to see us do, apart from joining an alliance, obviously, feel free to comment down below. In regards to joining an alliance, we will be doing that in a future video. Do not worry. It is coming. But there are things I want to accomplish first. And that's pretty much it. See you all in the next video. Peace.